Today we're going to start your awesome color wheel painting. I love this project so much because you're going to learn more than you even imagined about color and the way artists can mix their own colors to make unique tints, shades, and hues that will let their imagination soar. So what we're going to do today is start with a piece of paper that is designed for painting. There are different kinds of paper that we have. Some are better for drawing. Painting paper is bumpy on one side, so the first thing you need to do is kind of flip your paper around and make sure that you are drawing on the bumpy side. You want the bumpy side up. And then we are going to start with a dot right in the center of your paper. From that dot, we are going to draw lines that connect out to each corner. They don't have to be perfectly straight, but they shouldn't be wavy. So now we have 4 sections on your paper. We need 12 sections for the color wheel, so that means that we need to start dividing these up in different ways. So we've got 4 sets of 3. So in this top section, what we're going to do is divide this with 2 lines, and now we have 3 sections there. From here, 2 more lines. From here, 2 more. And from here, 2 more. How can you check to make sure you did that right? Well, you've got 1 line going up to each corner, and then there are 2 lines on each side. We count, we know that we have 12 sections because 4 times 3 is 12. Now what you're going to do is remember that concentric shape that we talked about yesterday and that you're going to be sketching in your sketchbook. We are going to draw that shape really large the first time. So the first time I draw it, and honestly, you should not have a really complicated shape for this, because if you do, your painting is going to just take you on the train to Crazy Town, and you're not going to have as much fun painting it because you're going to be so worried about trying to fill in all of your shapes. So the first shape should be pretty big. It should come close to the edge but not touch it. And then the second shape is going to go inside. It's going to be exactly concentric, which means it's the same shape, only slightly smaller or slightly larger. And it will look something like that. My goal here is to make sure that I've got sections in each little slice. So each slice has to have 3 sections. So you can kind of see each one of these sections has 3 sections inside of it. So each slice has 3 sections. Now this one is a little tricky right here because look how tiny that is. So imagine you're going to need to put a color inside that section. That might be pretty hard to do. So I think I'm going to take this opportunity to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success in the next step by erasing that line and drawing it a little further away. So now I've got places where I can easily paint into each of these little sections. Okay? The next step that we're going to do is label the sections. So what we want to do with the labeling is draw really, really light so that you can barely see it, because the tempera paint that we're using doesn't have really good coverage. So I'm going to draw mine darker, but you draw yours really, really light. I'm just drawing mine dark so that you can see it. So at the top is going to be yellow. And again, I'm doing that dark so you can see it. It should not be dark like that. You should barely see it. And then I'm going to skip. I'm going to go yellow, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to put blue on this side. And I'm in this outer section. And then I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3. and I'm going to put red over here. Okay, so you've got your three primary colors: yellow, red, blue. Now, between yellow and blue is, of course, green. What we're going to do is put that in the section that is directly between yellow and blue, but see how I skipped one section on each side of it? Because that's where your tertiary colors are going to be. So we've got primary, primary, secondary, okay? Now down here between red and blue, we have purple, also known as violet. And between red and yellow, we have orange. The last step is going to be to label your tertiary colors, but we can just use initials for that. So between yellow and green is yellow green. Between green and blue is blue green. Between violet and blue is blue violet. Between red and violet is red violet. Between red and orange is red orange. And between yellow and orange is yellow orange. Okay. Again, yours is going to be so light that you can barely see it. When you're done with everything, you are going to trace very carefully your lines, and then you'll be finished. Do not trace these. We're going to end up erasing these as we paint. Do not trace the names of the colors. You do want to trace your shapes and your lines. And I'll not have you watch all of that tracing because that would be kind of boring.